Hi, it's Friday, so you know what that means. Time for Double Feature Friday. This week, actually, I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to talk about the 3 films in Vinegar Syndrome's latest release of the Forgotten Gialli box set. So this is Volume 3. I did do an unboxing of this a couple weeks ago, but if you're interested, this is what the box set looks like. The films, some additional artwork on the top, artwork on the bottom, and then also artwork there. A little deviation from a double feature Friday, but you know, Forgotten Gialli Friday still has a nice ring to it. So there are 3 films included in this box set, and the one I'm going to talk about first is Autopsy. Autopsy I also briefly spoke about last week in my Mimsy Farmer Friday double feature. So Autopsy was released originally in 1975, and it is directed by Armando Crispino. And it stars Mimsy Farmer, Barry Primus, Ray Lovelock, and Carlo Caetano. Autopsy. It kind of bums me out that this was included in a Forgotten Gialli box set. I don't know what the requirements are. I don't feel like this is a Forgotten Gialli. To me, it feels like a big deal. It also is scored by Morricone, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes. Ennio Morricone scored this film as well. So I had watched this maybe a year or 2 ago. It was one of the earlier Gialli films that I've watched when I was first getting into the genre, and I was so excited to rewatch this on a Blu-ray. So I am happy that Vinegar Syndrome included it in their box set. This film was even more bonkers than I remembered. It starts with this opening sequence of, I don't really want to give it away, it's pretty good. And then goes right into Mimsy Farmer. She's playing a character, Simona. She's a pathologist. I think she's like doing her thesis on death and suicide, murder, suicide, something like that. After the first crazy sequence, it cuts to her in a morgue. There's all these dead people being brought in, naked bodies everywhere, autopsies happening all over the place. The other title, alternate English title for this film, was A Victim. I think that Autopsy is a much better title for this film. There's a lot of autopsies in this movie. This one has a lot of autopsies. A lot of dead, naked people lying around. A lot of dead, naked people then coming back to life in Mimsy Farmer's imagination, hallucinations. I'm not sure what else can I say about this. Bodies, corpses coming back to life, corpses maybe having sex. Then Mimsy Farmer, you see her with her boyfriend. He's not a great boyfriend. Oh yeah. So then Mimsy gets dropped off by this boyfriend. She's at home in her apartment working on her thesis, and a neighbor knocks on the door wanting to ask her a favor or something, and shortly thereafter that woman is found dead on the beach. It looks like a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but it's not. And then it sort of goes into this whole murder mystery investigation, very, you know, in the style of Gialli. Not really that many police doing any investigative work. There's a priest there's Mimsy Farmer they're trying to figure out what's going on. Is it just the sun making people crazy? Is there conspiracies being covered up? You have to watch Autopsy to find out. I love this film. It is great. Mimsy Farmer is amazing. I would say check it out. I will show you the alternate artwork. I'm not going to switch it around, but you can see there. Okay, I will say this Blu-ray, in my opinion, I'm not an expert on Blu-ray quality, but it is good enough that in one scene where Mimsy Farmer is crying, you can see snot in her nose. Okay, it's great, check it out. And then next up, I'm going to do it in the order that I watched them. So the next one I watched was Murder Mansion. So this film was originally released in 1972, directed by Francisco Laura Polop, starring Evelyn Stewart, Analia God, Lisa Leonardi, Andre Rosino, Yelena Samarina. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of those names as usual. So I had never seen this film before getting this box set. I hadn't ever heard of it either. I'm not sure if I've seen these actors in anything else. This is a Spanish-Italian co-production. This is like, it's not a haunted house, but all these people somehow end up in a mansion together because of the weather. It's really foggy and none of them can drive to wherever they're going safely, so they all end up spending the night in this mansion. They're being harassed by zombie-like figures and chased and scared by these zombie-like beings. I mean, that's just my description of them. And people keep showing up dead. Nobody knows what's going on. They can't seem to get any help. They're running through tunnels. There's a graveyard attached to this house. I really enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I would. I didn't know what to expect whatsoever. It also has a shorter runtime. It's 86 minutes. I thought it was actually really well done. There's some flashback scenes that I didn't love, but everything is really good and works together. At no point, I sometimes feel like with Gialli, you have to really suspend your disbelief to sort of be able to follow the plot, or at least the conclusion of the mystery or whatever's going on. I found this movie was not so much that. It was really enjoyable. I don't want to give it away. I think you should watch it. I would check it out. I can show you the alternate artwork. This is, I think, the original artwork. This is the alternate artwork. Makes it look more gothic than I think the film actually is. In my opinion, it's not really a gothic horror type. It's not like a Black Sunday or something like that. I would check out Murder Mansion. It's very fun, very enjoyable. Not a long run time, so it's not a huge time commitment. If you can get your hands on a version of this, I would watch it. Recommend. And then the last one in this collection is Crazy Desires of a Murderer. So again, I had never seen this film. I had never heard of it. I knew nothing about it. This was released originally in 1977, directed by Filippo Walter Ratti, starring Corrado Gaipa, Roberto Zattini, Isabel Marshall, Annie Carol Edo. Out of this volume, out of volume 3, I would say this was my least favorite, and it was still an enjoyable watch. This film is also 89 minutes long, so not a long runtime. It definitely felt longer than that. I feel like near the end I sort of lost interest in what was happening. There's also a lot of characters introduced in this film, and you don't know that much about them. I don't know, I feel like I wasn't that invested in the characters. This film is about a group of like young people they seem like kind of socialite party people, end up at a mansion. They were traveling back from somewhere in Europe, or no, they were traveling back from China. So a couple of these guys were smuggling drugs and kind of made friends with, it seems like they kind of made friends with this one woman to take advantage of her. So So they go to her house, they hide the drugs there, there's some drug dealings going on, some things going awry, and then all of a sudden people start getting murdered and their eyes are getting cut out of their sockets. This is probably like the sexiest of these three films, and I don't mean that in a way that it is sexy. There's just some sex scenes in this that they're playing like a charades, a shadow puppet sex charades or something. Maybe it's just over my head. There's a scene with a candle that when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I mean, whatever, maybe that's your thing. That's fine. What else can I say? So yeah, people end up being murdered in this house. Everyone's kind of accusing each other. This police inspector guy comes and tries to find out what's going on. I think he does solve the case in the end. He has to use himself as bait. Like, this movie started out pretty strong. I was initially wondering also how it ended up in a Forgotten Gialli box set. It seems a bit more like fancy. I'll go over the other Forgotten Gialli box sets at some point. This one had like this, like kind of a bigger young cast. Everyone's wearing fancy clothes, seems very jet set. Seems strange to not like the type of movie that has been in these Forgotten Gialli box sets up until this one. But partway through the movie, it just gets kind of convoluted or draggy in a way. I can't really explain what goes wrong for me. But yeah, I didn't love it. Out of these three, this is my least favorite. I still think it's worth a watch. It's not horrible. It's not unwatchable. There's some very funny moments. This is the alternate artwork. And yeah, so I think that's all. Forgotten Gialli Vol.3. I say check it out. It's very fun. If it's still available and if you like Blu-rays, if you like Gialli films, if you like Mimsy Farmer, Autopsy, these are all great reasons to get this box set. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.